Okay, welcome back. So now we're going to go ahead and answer part C of our question, which is how much more profit will Millennium make by opening at 80% occupancy instead of ramping up to 80 from a start of 50% occupancy, and to assume a certain ramp up schedule. And your worksheet has the certain ramp up schedule that we're talking about. So the idea is, hey, new plan, we're going to open straight at 80% occupancy. Okay, so that's this red line up over here, right? And taking into account that, you know, if we had opened with our original plan, we would have made this black area here anyways, right? So the idea is we want to be able to calculate just what this red portion is here. Okay, so I'm going to zoom out a little bit. Hopefully we have an idea what that plan is. We're going to make use of what we already have right here. So I'm just going to go ahead and copy. So I'm going to select everything here and I'm going to paste. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and call this Mo1. Mo1. Okay. And I'm going to go Mo 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm just going to drag it on over. Okay, now I'm going to zoom in a little bit. Okay, go ahead and bold and underline so I kind of know that these are the headings. And I'm going to select everything and I'm just going to copy on over. Okay, and you'll notice a couple of things when Excel just kind of copies on over when you drag the formula. So maybe I'm going to select everything, go to the bottom right-hand corner and notice that my mouse turns from a fat white cross into a thin black cross without arrows. I'm going to click and hold down the click and then drag to the right. Okay. And you'll notice a couple of things. Up here with like the hard-coded numbers, Excel likes to count. It's a spreadsheet program. It kind of goes back to mama when it, you know, isn't sure what to do. So in its origin, it likes to count. So you'll notice that your rooms per night have changed from 300 to 301 to 3. It likes to count, right? You know, just go back and then make sure that your hard-coded numbers reflect what you actually want it to reflect. And the occupancy percent, notice that it has also counted up by 1 or 100%. So it has also added 1. And then the number of nights has also increased by 1 each time. So our original model modeled out just 7 nights, right? Because we were using this model to calculate, you know, the 7-day opportunity cost. What we're going to do is we're going to use this to calculate, you know, net operating profit for any given month, right? For 4 separate months. So in financial circles, what we usually do when we estimate any month is we just call it 30 days in a month. And yes, I realize some months have 30, some months have 31. It's roughly split half and half. And then February is just messed up with 28 or leap year 29 or something like that. But in financial circles, just to make our lives easier, we just call the average month 30 days inside a month. And I know that's not quite correct. Okay, now this occupancy percentage, right? I'm going to go ahead and delete that. Our existing plan, right? I'm going to maybe, oh, sorry. Our current plan, right? Our current kind of ramp up plan was to start at 50%. And according to the worksheet, it goes up slowly to 57.5 and then 65 and then 72.5. Oops. 72.5. Okay. And I want to show all the decimal points here. So I'm going to go ahead and increase the decimal points. Okay. So this was the original plan. ADR. I'm going to go back and I'm going to re-reference the ADR. I'm going to put an absolute reference in there, so the reference doesn't change. Okay, drag that across. My net operating profit, I'm going to go back and reference that with an absolute reference as well. Okay, and I'm pressing F4 for the absolute reference. You might have to press function F4 if you're on a Mac, or that little, I don't know, Mac symbol, F4. Or worse comes to worse, you can also just put $signs in front of the column and the row reference, just so Excel always knows to absolutely, no matter what, reference that cell. Okay, so you'll notice here that this is now my baseline model for what we used to do, total. For months 1, 2, 3, 4, right? If we do that ramp up. So let me zoom out a little bit. And let me zoom back into this, right? So you'll notice that this ramp up goes up like this, right? We're assuming 50%, 57.5, 65%, 50%, 57.5%, 65%, going up to 72.5%, not quite to 80%, but almost there, right? And this model then gives us net operating profit, this entire area here as net operating profit. So it gives us the double shaded area, right? The overlap, the black area here, the black shaded area here. Okay. Now let's go ahead and calculate it. Do the same thing for this red shaded area. So now I'm going to zoom out. Sales original model. Okay. Now I'm just going to select everything. So I'm going to go into the row numbers. And when my mouse turns into a thick black arrow to the right, I'm going to click, hold down the click, select all of those rows, Control C to copy, Control V as in Victor to paste. And I'm going to call this new model. Okay. New model, we open at 80% all the way across. Okay. I'll zoom out a little bit. You'll notice that the net operating profit is very different for each month. Equals sum. Equals sum. Okay, you're like, what the hell did we just do, Sybil? I copied this baseline model, right? Because this is our hotel financials down to net operating profit for any given 4 months. Okay. And we've assumed an occupancy ramp up. Here, no occupancy ramp up. We just go straight to 80% occupancy. Everything else is exactly the same, right? The net operating profit percentage is the same. ADR is the same, right? Number of nights, number of rooms available per night. It's all the same. The only thing that's different between the two is the occupancy percentage in the two models, okay? And just that pure difference of ramp up versus open straight at 80%, okay, gets us to a net operating profit difference between this and this. So I'm going to just say the difference equals that minus that. Okay. Now, again, Sybil, what do you mean? Let me scroll back down here. Okay. And let me open this up for you guys a little bit wider. Okay. So say insert text box. Sorry, you get to see me fiddle around with red, bold. Okay, so this red area this red area, and maybe I will fill, no fill, weight, big weight. This area, right? That's the 2466344. Okay, so maybe I'll draw a line. That's this red area here. Make it red. Okay. Now, where's the free form? The free form. This ramp up this area, right? Shape fill, more fill colors, right? I'm gonna make that moderately transparent. Okay, this fill, ooh, that's not transparent enough. That's too transparent. Shape fill. Okay, this area is copy paste this number right here. Okay, so you see, if I take the red area and I subtract out this gray shaded area, I get this other area here, this purely red area, right? Which I'll just make yellow. This yellow area, right? This yellow area, that's this number here. So make that black, make that black. Okay. Make that orange. Okay. So now you see that I have this orange area of how much additional money Millennium stands to gain by opening straight at 80%, right? And that's the 4 months, right? So I can essentially take this orange area, subtract out, I'm gonna subtract out this, subtract out this area, the opportunity cost, right? Which is, which is this, fill in, okay? So I'm going to say this orange area. And I'm going to subtract out this blue area. Equals. So this is net at the end of the day, how much more net operating profit Millennium could potentially keep if it opened straight up at 80% occupancy rate, right? Instead of that slow ramp up over the first 4 months of operations, taking into account that they're opening 7 days later, okay? And I'm going to subtract out from Exhibit 13 the total amount of more training, okay? Cost of more training, okay? Incremental NOP at 80%. Maybe I'll just wrap text, merge cells, wrap text, bold, underline, okay? Incremental net operating profit at 80%, right? This is, oops, opportunity cost of 7 days late. Make that a little bit smaller. Cost open 7 days late. Okay. Equals net NOP in first 4 Mo. Okay. Cost of training. Cost of more training. Okay. Equals net NOP of proposal to Millennium equals okay. So after taking into account how much more profit Millennium gets to make by opening at 80% occupancy instead of the slow ramp up over the first 4 months of operations, after taking account that you would be opening up 7 days later in order to conduct training, and taking into account that you will be spending more money in training, at the end of the day, we would expect that Brian Collins's proposal will net one time $391,000 to Millennium, okay, for this plan. So I'm gonna zoom out a little bit. Ooh, and I think I just made that a little, okay. Hopefully this analysis makes sense, and that should get you to the end of part C of the exercise, and I will see you in the next video.